What is perfect spirit healing circle? Well, first of all, we have to realize that we have all these stories, all these thoughts in our head, and that's not who we are. We are not all these thoughts. We are not our name, our identity, this body. We are a spirit, soul. If this makes no sense to you, that's okay. Just think of all the images of yourself from the times from your toddler ages to your teenage years to your adult years. You have all these changing bodies. But where did you go? No place. That's the soul, that's the spirit, and that's the perfect spirit. It's that thing, the essence that never changes. And usually, when we're trying to change yourself, we're trying to change our mindset, our thoughts, our situation, whatever it may be, but we're trying to change something that is constantly changing. And this is very difficult. So we're letting go of all these thoughts, all these stories. And the goal of tonight is very simple: to create miracles. Miracles are simply those things that we cannot explain, these miracle healings, whether it's health, finances, relationships. All this comes from the perfect spirit. And we create from this place, not from the mind, but deeper. So throughout the night, we've been doing various meditations that go deeper and deeper, and just really to relax into who we truly are, that we ultimately play a game. Oh, I'm this story. Oh, wait, no, I'm spirit. Then we get trapped again into the story, the situation, the condition, whatever it may be, but it's always changing. So we're going to focus on that thing that does not change tonight, our essence. So we're just relaxing here tonight. That's all that's required of you, is to relax. We typically have all these rules on how we have to be. Am I sitting up properly? Do I have to close my eyes, open my eyes? Do I need to hold my hands a certain way? We're letting all this go, because spirit, the soul, does not operate by any of these human rules or conditions or dogma or any ways of being. So we're just letting that all drop away. So we're letting the day drift by, the past week, the past month, 2022, 2020, or even the year 2000, because his mind's always hanging on to the past. We're letting that all go to embrace 2023. And some will say new year, new you, but that simply is not true, because reminding ourselves that the you, the real you, never changes. It's the constant. If we get the inner to match the outer, that's where the magic happens. That's the miracle. Everything just sort of falls into line in that place. So we're going to dive into a little mini meditation just to begin to let go of the day, the past year, the past week, whatever it may be. And there's no rules. I say meditation, but we can even let that go. We can just call it relaxation, because there's no rules to relaxation. So it may be helpful to close the eyes and just sit quietly for a moment. If the mind gets busy, come back to this voice. Come back to noticing where your feet are. Bring yourself into this moment, where this moment is all that exists. There's no past, there's no future. It's just this moment. So we're just relaxing here, allowing the mind to settle in. And it may just disappear, the busyness. But we're going to keep feeling this peace that emanates from the real you, your spirit, your soul. We just want to let all of this go. Any attachments to the human condition, the human experience. We're just letting all this go. And you may feel waves of peace as we are connecting to you to wash out all this debris, all this busyness, all this mental noise. And it doesn't matter if you're live or watching on replay. It does not matter. In spirit, there is no time and space. Just by making the intention to be connected to all that is sufficient. And this peace is the source of transformation. It's not busyness. It's not doing. It's not figuring things out. It's letting it all go and just relaxing into this divine ocean of consciousness, of love, where words cannot truly describe this consciousness, this divine ocean, where words are simply symbols and symbols of symbols. So all these words is not the truth per se. It's just pointers to our true essence. And we're just letting this all drift away. Just coming into peace, into relaxation. And we're feeling relaxed. Now just gently open your eyes and look around, but don't label, don't judge anything. Just notice and see that you're in all things, that this divine ocean encompasses everything, that there's no separation from all that is. We are one with it all. So we come into this place of stillness, of knowing that we are projectors, if you will, that we are this ocean of consciousness, and we're just projecting what we see. If this makes no sense, if you had a very powerful microscope, like an electron microscope, you would see nothing but particles, atoms. If you go deep enough, you just see the quantum field. You could say this is the ocean of divine love, of just particles. But there's an intelligence to these particles that create these various forms, these projections. And we're just realizing it's just my reality, because everyone is seeing something different. Even the color red will look different person to person, and blue and green, because the human body is imperfect, you could say. We're just relaxing, embracing the oneness. So now we want to start coming back into the body a little bit, allowing a little separation so we can function. Because when you're in a state of oneness, it's very hard to function. It's hard to feed yourself because you are the food, the fork, whatever it may be. So we need to have a little bit of separation to maintain this body. So we're coming back into this body, maybe feeling your feet on the floor, just relaxing. Nothing to do, nothing to accomplish. But we do want to set an intention for tonight. We want a focal point to direct spirit, you could say. This is where the mind can be useful, if you will, is directing consciousness into a certain area and letting it go. So it's not about figuring things out, it's about letting it go. So since the soul focus, you could say, is getting the soul to focus on our attentions to create these miracles. So if you feel like it, you can just type into the chat where you would like to create a miracle, and we'll throw that into consciousness, just letting it go. We don't want any stories attached with it. I'm feeling this pain, this difficulty. I'm having problems with this and that. We don't want to give that attention. We just want to say, oh, I notice I need more attention in relationships, in health, and finance. That's enough. And we allow spirit to bring that situation back into balance, back into harmony. So someone said addiction, and everyone is not immune from addiction. The most prevalent addiction is our addiction to thoughts, taking our thoughts as facts, as truth, and all other addictions stem from that, almost as a way, as a coping mechanism, an acceptance mechanism, and perhaps to numb the situation. But it all stems from the thoughts that this is unacceptable. But we just allow spirit to take care of that for us. Yes, being at peace is our true nature, to be at peace. So someone earlier on one of the threads said they needed a miracle for their son, Jim. So we're throwing Jim into the circle as well, because we're all interconnected. There is no separation. That's why this energy we're transmitting tonight is always with you when you set that intention, whether you're watching live or on replay. So now let's allow spirit to do the work, to do the healing. And there's not two of you. There's only the real you, spirit. We want spirit to correct the situation that's undesirable. Maybe too much stress, too much noise, disturbing your peace. Maybe an addiction to a substance, an emotion, a thought. We allow spirit to cut those cords, to cut that need. So once again, let's relax, allowing the mind to grow quiet as we keep ourselves rooted in this moment. We don't need to figure it out. We just set the intention and we let it go. As we're sending energy, where you are this energy, we're simply helping you focus to let go. To embrace this moment just as it is, knowing that there's nothing needed to make the situation better. The situation is perfect as it is, even if the mind cannot see the perfection. where this situation, this experience is your teacher. The teacher reminding you, go back home, go back to self, that you are a spiritual being and that there is a spiritual resolution. But we forget we are spiritual beings and we get caught up in our humanness. But the humanness usually cannot solve the problem because it created the problem by forgetting who you are, a divine, perfect spirit. So the more we can relax, the more we can surrender the mind, the more we remember who we are. The energy that powers the sun is the energy that powers you, that animates this body. But this body is simply a projection of your consciousness. Everything you saw earlier and your environment and your space is a projection of your consciousness. And it seems so real, but we let it all go. And we'll do an experiment later to show how all is illusion, that it's just a projection of consciousness. We're just wrapping you in this ocean of love, helping spirit to focus on your intentions with no demands, no expectations, just a knowing that spirit has it all under control. And we get into trouble when we don't listen to ourselves, our true self. It's always pointing the way, always whispering. But that's the issue for many. It whispers. Why the mind screams and yells and demands. We're letting that all drift away. Coming into peace with a deep, deep knowing that all is well. So spend a few minutes in silence. If the mind gets busy, we don't yell at the mind to stop thinking or stop being distracted. We simply come back to the awareness of this moment. Where are your feet? Where are your hands? Where are you sitting? And we just direct the mind back into this moment. And if you do it every second, that's perfect. In time, the mind will stop the struggle. Now we take a moment here and we bring in any loved ones, any friends, anyone that you know of that needs assistance, that needs help, and we bring them into this circle, surrounding them in love, reminding them of their true nature. Even if the person's unaware that you're doing this on their behalf, it still helps them because they too are perfect spirit, connected to the ocean of consciousness. By sending this love, this peace to them is beneficial, almost like an energy drink, giving them a boost of confidence, of assurance that all is well. So we just continue to relax. This is the only thing that's really required is deep relaxation. And maybe another factor as well, when the mind is busy, distracted, we just bring it back into this moment by noticing the feet, hands, where you're sitting, this voice, to relax and be here now. To know that you're enlightened just as you are. Everyone is enlightened. They're just not aware because they're lost and forgetting who they are. The whole point of the night is to let go of all the doing, all the busyness, all the figuring out, to realize you know the answers within your spirit, your soul, your spiritual heart. It's there, whispering to you, do this, do that. And we're just quieting the mind down. That's all that's required of us. Now, if we're sitting here with our eyes closed, keep yourself really grounded and focused of being in this moment. Now, as we look around, and we just notice once again that we're connected to all these things, not labeling, not attaching, just seeing. Now we're going to try an experiment. It may or may not work for you. We do not judge it. But just notice as you really become present, how nothing quite looks solid, that things have a little shimmer, the more that you can stay grounded and rooted in this moment. So all these apparent walls that we have around us, all these obstacles, see how they shimmer, see how they vibrate, because they're just energetic patterns. And if we can match those vibrations, to become one with those vibrations. We can see through these objects, the illusions, but it may make no sense, and you might not be able to achieve this. That's okay. We don't judge. We just let it all go and just relax. We just look around, relaxing. As we sit here tonight, we sometimes wonder about past loved ones, past friends. If they are spirit, if they are soul, then they are still with all that is. They are still here, not in the way the mind can perceive, but we can just relax, fall into this ocean of consciousness, call out their name quietly, ask a question. You may get a response. If you let go of all the judgments, all the expectations, we want to let go of any mental interference because that will block. Because we have access to all that is by simply relaxing, getting the mind offline, if you will. We understand the mind wants lots of drama, lots of excitement, lots of mystical experiences, but they're just distractions. Because once you connect to all that is, you will see it's very quiet, it's very peaceful, and life just magically unfolds without us getting in the way of damming up the works, if you will. That we're here to feel good, to enjoy life in this moment, just as it is. And we realize this is a quiet night, that there's no music, there's no distractions, just pure stillness. For this is where the magic happens. Lots of healings transpiring tonight. For peace is the true energy of transformation. So we want to come back into the body now, maybe open our eyes, stretch out, relax. And just enjoy this. You're not your diseases, your conditions, your life situation. You are peace. When the mind gets busy, just remember who you are. And if you're facing a difficulty, a challenge, remember there's a spiritual solution. But it begins by being quiet, coming into this moment. And maybe bring in a question and see how Spirit answers. Okay, take good care. I'll see everyone next week if you wish.